Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be reading the patch notes for the new Legends of Runeterra patch 6.6, which is coming live tomorrow, Wednesday, June 4th at about 4 p.m. 11 p.m. Pacific, which is like 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern or whatever. So, cool. Let's talk about the new characters. So we know who they are. The first one is Twisted Fate, and here is Twisted Fate's abilities. So he has Wild Card. If you have him at 1 star, Wild Card is when you play your 3rd card each round, create a Wild Card in hand. Wild Card is a new card that was created for Twisted Fate's adventure. It's a 2-mana spell that says choose a Destiny card and activate it as a burst speed ability. But of course, the Destiny cards themselves are not burst speed. They will go on the stack and then they will resolve themselves as skills. The base Destiny cards are red card, deal 1 damage to all enemies in the enemy nexus. Blue card, refill 1 spell mana and draw 1 card. And gold card, which is deal 2 damage to the strongest enemy and stun it. Pretty good options. Alright. Second ability is Luck of the Draw. +1 starting mana. Cards you draw after the first each round cost 1 less. This is very similar to the ability Quick Draw, but it stacks with Quick Draw. Quick Draw is each card you draw costs 1 less. And this is very similar to Echo. Echo also has like a his 2-star is basically a rare power, which is the wild creations. Your created cards cost 1 less. So this is fine. This is very synergistic with Twisted Fate. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards, so it's nice to be able to actually summon them and play them. You're going to be drawing a lot of wild cards, most likely, so we'll see how that goes. His 3-star is Wild Card 2. When you play your 3rd card each round, create a 1-cost wild card in hand. Okay, so you have to play a bunch of cards, so the Luck of the Draw is going to be very important for that. Then you play a 1-cost wild card, which means that your blue card is free, basically. Your gold card is definitely more worth it, and your red card is, I would say red card is worth about 1 mana, dealing 1 to everything in 1 to the enemy nexus, unless you have some sort of skilled damage buff, which his kit does not, by the way. Alright, so 4-star is Higher Education. When you draw a card, give allies +1/+0 this round. Very similar to Jace. So with Jace, you have this fixation on playing 6-cost spells, and Jace's 3-star is when you play 6-cost spells, you give all of your board +1/+0 and a random keyword. So Higher Education is draw a bunch of cards. You can play them cheaper, and then your wild card will let you draw more cards. And then you have a board of weak units, and they all get a little bit stronger, and then you crush your opponent. The main problem is that you don't have Overwhelm. So Beast Within is most likely going to be one of Twisted Fate's most important star powers, I imagine. Unless you can literally just stun everything. Mana Flow is normal. Last effect is Destiny. Your Destiny cards are replaced with improved versions. Blue card, red card, and gold card. So, if you have Twisted Fate 6-star, then his cards are all replaced with the new versions, which are right here. Red card, deal 2 to all enemies in the enemy nexus. Blue card, refill 2 spell mana and draw 2 cards, which is insane. And then gold card, which is deal 7 and stun the strongest enemy. Pretty good. Okay, so as far as 6 stars go, you get 1 wild card a round, but it's fairly weak unless you have his relic. His relic actually shuffles a bunch of wild cards into your deck. Let's look at the relic real quick because you guys need this context. Deck of Destiny, +1/+1, which is weird. It's weird that they're basically acknowledging that Twisted Fate does not have enough stats to actually be a character, because he's only a 4-mana 2/2. So the fact that they're giving him an ability, but they're also saying, okay, at least he's going to be a 3/3. That's concerning. Game start, create a 1-cost wild card in your deck for every 7 cards in your deck. Okay. So basically what they're saying is play Deck of Destiny and then play Stacked Deck. They're telling you, look, we made Stack Deck for Twisted Fates. Just get a bunch of extra gold, buy a bunch of cards, and then your Stack Deck will basically make all of your terrible units a little bit stronger. Then you'll have all these wild cards, which will be basically not free, but, well, they can be basically free because they cost 1 mana when you draw them, and then you play your, if you had the 6-star, you can play them to draw 2 and refill 2 spell mana, which means that they will be free, actually. They'll be a net positive to your mana, except that you can only use it to play spells. So if you have, let's say that you have 45 cards in your starting deck, that means that you get, what, 6 wild cards? All the wild cards are 1 cost. Oh, from the Deck of Destiny. Okay, never mind. Then they are literally free because you draw them and they cost 0 with your 2-star. So that's 2 mana for every blue card that you draw if you have the 6-star. That's really good. So it's only good if you have Stack Deck though. So you have to have Stack Deck, which is a relic that you can get through the Emporium by spending 3,000 Stardust, but you have to actually get it. You don't get to choose which one you're offered. So if you don't have Stack Deck yet, this can be kind of frustrating. For my friends who have Stack Deck, like myself and my husband, this will be pretty good. So I mean, if you have 45 cards, like I said in the description, that means that Twisted Fate will be a 5/5, which is much better than him being a 2/2. So yeah, I think this will probably be fine. It does mean that he's very pay to win though. Okay, or not even pay to win, pay to play. Like you can't play him without that relic and the Stack Deck relic, which is kind of a problem. Like I was hoping that Twisted Fate would have King of Games as a 6-star, so you would literally just be able to race to the end and just draw your deck and then win the game that way. Because drawing 9 cards is going to deck you out, and that's his requirement to level up, and it's not unfair for you to auto win by decking yourself against NPCs. Who cares? They're NPCs. They can't feel slighted by your brokenness. It's not like it's that much easier to deck yourself out as opposed to decking your opponent out with Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is also very, very good at just winning the game through mill. It's just milling the opponent instead. And you could say, well, with Fiddlesticks you have to actually engage and fight the enemy, which really, if you have a 6-star, you don't. If you have a 6-star, you can literally just summon whatever you want, pass, and then you just get to attack. You basically never get blocked because you have Fearsome and your opponent has no attack, and then you just constantly gloom their whole board with your Haunted Scarecrow, which is insane. But ignoring that, right? Like let's pretend that Fiddlesticks actually requires you to attack. The difference, you could have done the same thing with Twisted Fate. His 3-star could be the same thing as the Adventure, where it just says, whenever you deal 2 damage to your opponent, draw a card. Yeah, that'd be fine. Okay, regardless though, this is more of like a traditional style of Legends of Runeterra champion, but as we will see, his deck is bad. So we have Black Market Merchant, which is a 2-mana 2/2. I think he's the first champion, I think. No, he does have Pool Shark. I was about to say, I think he's the first champion that doesn't have a 1-drop, but he does have a 1-drop. All right. Black Market Merchant, when you draw an enemy card, reduce its cost by 1, plunder, nab 1. So, so you don't have... So this is an interesting tech card. This would be a card that you would play in like a Gangplank deck. Twisted Fate does have like some synergy with nab, but the deck does not nab. It has 1 card that nabs. So this card is basically just, you can only summon me if your opponent has taken damage this turn, enter the battlefield, draw 1 card and reduce its cost by 1, and that card doesn't even come from your deck, doesn't have any items, isn't good. So great, excellent, love it. And the big problem is like the threat from enemies from Deadly is not in their deck. It's on their field. It's an aura. So even though if you fight a nightmare area, they're going to have stronger units than normal, it's not because their units are stronger. It's because they have an effect that says, when I summon a unit, give it extra stats. So drawing a card from their deck is not going to be like a better version of the monster that's already there. It's going to be a weak version that has no items. So this card's bad. Like Black Market Merchant, not a good card. At the very least, the only thing I can say about this card is that it gives you a reason to red card. That's it. Like, red card lets you hit your opponent's Nexus. Now you have some benefit for that. You can draw a card, and that card will have its cost reduced by 1. And you want to draw cards to level Twisted Fate. Okay. Fine. That's okay, I guess. And then you can synergize it with the 2-star. It'll cost 2 less. Is a random card from your opponent's deck good enough if it costs 2 less than its normal value? Kind of. I mean, not in a nightmare situation. Like if I draw, let's say I draw Dreadway Deckhand, right? Not like a 2/2, a 2-mana 2/2. Not Dreadway Deckhand itself, because it will have an item card from Twisted Fate. But let's say I draw like Cythria. Okay, Cythria, 1-mana 2/2. Let's say that's the card that's at the bottom of my opponent's deck. So I nab 1, I draw Cythria. Cythria is a 0-mana 2/2. Is that good? No, it's not. I don't even want to play that card. I'll throw it out on the board, whatever. Here's my Cythria, but it doesn't have my stack deck bonus. It's not got any items. It doesn't have any of my like star powers. You don't want random cards. The whole reason that Aurelion Sol had to get a special, like, insane 2-star that says give every card you create an item was because creating cards is inefficient and weak. And don't get it twisted. Like, you could play 4-star Aurelion Sol, and if he didn't have his 2-star, if he didn't have the ability to give all his created cards a random item, he would feel a lot worse. He'd still be broken, because Breath of Light is just a dumb ability. But he would feel significantly worse if he did not have a random epic or rare item on every card he created. Because items are what make the game good. It's not stats. It's not the inherent power of the cards. It is the items that you get. That's why you level up characters. So drawing a card that doesn't have an item is bad. So Black Market Merchant, terrible card. Next up, we have Dreadway Deckhand. 2-mana 2/2. When I'm summoned, summon a Powder Keg. That is fine. So Powder Keg is like a 0/1 that gives your next skill 1 extra damage. So Twisted Fate's gold card will deal 3, or his red card will deal 2. Or if you have the 6-star, then his red card will deal 3 to all, and his gold card would deal 8. Is that good? 3 to all is insane. 3 to all is fantastic. That's like better than Anivia. So 1 to all is weak. 2 to all is standard. That's pretty decent. 3 to all, absolutely crazy. So Dreadway Deckhand, probably one of the better cards in his deck. Slotbot. 3-mana 1/4. When I'm summoned or round start, grant me +0/+1 for each card you drew last round, then shuffle my stats. Okay. This card is typically pretty bad. With Twisted Fate, though, I've played this card in PvP and it's not good. But with Twisted Fate, like, you could make this card 2 mana, and then, you've probably drawn like 3 or 4 cards. I feel like Slotbot will need a good item, but I feel like they know that this is like the only card that's actually decent in his deck. So I'll probably give it a good item, and as long as it has a good item, then Slotbot will probably be just fine. I think Slotbot will be like your win condition. So I'm hoping that Slotbot gets like Steel Shield to give it +1/+3, and then you shuffle its stats around. And then also Great Club to give it Overwhelm. They always give one unit Great Club because you actually have to win the game. So this card is the card that needs Great Club. Okay. Next up we have Zap Sprayfin. 4-mana 2/2 with Elusive and Attune, which is when I'm summoned, add 1 spell mana. When I'm summoned, draw a spell that costs 3 or less from the deck. Okay, so that will... if pick a card was your only spell, that would be insane. That would be the greatest effect in the deck. But you have Make It Rain as well. Make It Rain is bad, so... So, yay. I'm glad that they decided to make... give you a tutor and then make the tutor miss half the time. That's great. Fantastic. Obviously, you want to pick a card every chance that you get. Pick a card is the best Twisted Fate card in the game. But Make It Rain is very, very poor. Zap Spray Fin does immediately give you some mana to use the spell that you draw, which is really, really good. So I feel like Zap will be fine as long as Zap gets exactly Ancient Coin. I don't want to pay 4 mana for this, but if I can pay 3 mana for it, then I think this is fine. It has Elusive, which means that if you give it a bunch of attack from the Higher Learning, you'll probably be able to win the game with it, but you'll need Pick a Card to get that Higher Learning proc. So you play Zap on your opponent's turn, you draw your Pick a Card, you activate Pick a Card, next turn you draw 2, you activate the effect of your 4-star, Zap gets huge, Zap attacks, Zap can't be blocked because it has Elusive, you win the game. So Zap could be like a secondary win condition to your slot bots, but only if it has Ancient Coin. If it's 4 mana, it's not going to be good. Alright. Next up we have Ruined Rex. Ruined Rex is a 5 mana 4/4 with play Cannon Barrage on randomly targeted enemies for each card you've drawn this round up to 6 times. Cannon Barrage is deal 2 damage to an enemy or 1 damage to the enemy nexus if the enemy is not there on resolution. Now, we do not know what Ruined Rex's item is going to be, but the star power has been revealed. There is a star power on Twisted Fate's Constellation that says Ruined Rex gets Luden's Echo, which is your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage while Ruined Rex is on the field. So that includes your cards, of course, but it also includes your Cannon Barrage. So let's say that you drew 4 cards. So you summon Ruined Rex, and you Cannon Barrage, and you do 4 Cannon Barrages. That means that you will deal 3 damage to 4 units, and if any of those units die from the 3 damage, you'll deal 2 damage to the enemy nexus instead. Okay, that's a pretty good starting point. You do have to actually, get the you have to have his the Constellation, which means that you'll need to have at least his 3-star to actually get you access to the other stars, and then probably his 4-star. He'll probably have a Constellation. We don't know what his Constellation shape is, but it'll probably be aligned in a way where like his 4-star is like right after his 3-star. So you're gonna have to spend quite a bit of Twisted Fate fragments. But the thing is, these events have shown us that Riot is willing to give you a bunch of Twisted Fate fragments if you play the game. So you have to actually play the event if you want to play Twisted Fate. But you can play Twisted Fate, and you'll be able to get Ruined Rex and get his Constellation. And this card will be good enough. I think that I am optimistic about Ruined Rex. I feel like Ruined Rex will be a good finisher. Alright, Make It Rain is bad. 2 mana, deal 1 to 3 randomly targeted enemies or the enemy nexus. So you can't target. I don't know why you can't target. So you shoot randomly, 1 damage, 2, 3 enemies. This will probably get Charging Sigil 2, so it'll be 2 mana, deal 3 to 3 units. And will that be good? I mean, you'll play it, but you won't be happy about it. Pick a card. Burst Speed. To place a card from your hand into your deck. Draw 2 at the next round and give them Fleeting. Okay. Now, ideally, this card would have Tear of the Goddess, so that it's 0 mana. Really, really good. Enables your Twisted Fate power. But I feel like they would probably have tested that and decided that it's not worth it, because specifically if you have a 6-star, you need something to spend all your spell mana on. So I'm guessing that this will actually probably have Summoning Beacon, where you just summon a 2-drop from Twisted Fate's region whenever you play it. Is that good? Yeah, Summoning Beacon is fine. It's a burst speed spell. Getting a unit out at burst speed is fantastic. You can use it as a blocker in that case, or you can use it as an attacker before your opponent gets a chance to block. So pick a card. For the only problem is that you have to actually spend 2 mana, but as long as you have your wild cards, that's fine. So it'll be more of a skill testing thing where you have to play 3 cards, get your first wild card, activate blue card, draw 2, and then you start pick a carding, and then you kind of weave your wild cards and your pick a card together. That will actually require you to play the relic, and you'll have to have the 6-star, and that's fine. That's kind of what the whole deck is designed around. Lastly, with Pull Shark, when I'm summoned, draw 1 at the next starting round and grant it Fleeting. Fine, that's a fine card. Okay. So let's guess the other item cards. So Black Market Merchant will probably have... It's a card that you want to keep out, theoretically, but, I mean, it's got Plunder, so you don't have any other cards that have Plunder, so I don't really know what you... This will get Studded Leather. This is going to be a 2-mana 3/3, and you're going to be like, I hate this card. Dreadway Deckhand, This is a very aggressive card. I bet this is going to get Pickaxe, so it's probably going to be like a 2-mana 4/2, which will not be good. But I mean, the point is the Powder Keg. Slotbot, like I said, hoping for Steel Shield and Great Club. Zap Spray Fin, Ancient Coin, Ruined Rex. Ruined Rex's stats don't really matter, and he's getting an ability on the constellation, so I feel like his actual item, Philosopher's Stone. He's gonna draw a card. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they'll code it so that the card that he draws counts towards his Cannon Barrage, so that it feels a little bit better to actually play him before you like have his 6 stars. Okay. Make it rain, Charging Sigil. Pick a card, Summoning Beacon. Pool Shark will probably get, I guess this will make Pool Shark the one that gets 2, because I haven't said anyone else that gets 2 besides the, this guy. I don't think Pool Shark will get 2. Putting 2 items on a 1-drop is a little bit insane. They'll probably put the other item on Zap, so Zap will get Ancient Coin and, like, Phage, so it's a 4/4. 3-mana 4/4 with Elusive is fantastic, by the way. That'll be, if they put Phage and Ancient Coin on Zap, Zap will be the best card in the deck, and that'll be fun. Pool Shark's probably going to get Shadow Totem, so that when you summon it, you get another copy, and then you just trigger the effect twice, and then you draw 2 cards at the next round start. Is that good? I mean, it's good enough. And then the Deck of Destiny I've already talked about. So his final list of relics will probably be Deck of Destiny, Stack Deck, and Beast Within, so that you have +1/+1 Stack Deck to give you +1/+1 for every card in your deck, and then Beast Within to give all your units Overwhelm, so that the extra attack from higher education actually matters. And there you go. That is Twisted Fate. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.